Hi, I'm Gail and welcome back to Low Carb Recipe Ideas. Today we're going to make an updated version of my flaxseed chips. It's a low carb flaxseed chips. We're going to add a little bit of almond meal in with it, and I just wasn't totally satisfied with my other flax chips that I did, so we're just going to put out a new video with a new recipe. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is I've got my Ninja food processor, and we're going to use that to grind up the flaxseed to turn it into meal. And this is golden flaxseed. You can get the dark flaxseed. The golden I find is nicer. It's all to taste. It's up to you as to what you want to do. So we're going to put this in the Ninja. We're going to grind up the seeds. Now you can buy the seeds already ground up. It costs you more money, and if you have a food processor of some sort, it's wiser to do it this way because you're getting the total nutrition, because the fresher you grind them, the more nutrition you're going to get for it. So we're going to grind her up. There we go. I ground them for approximately a minute. Actually, when I'm looking here, I think I'm going to do it a little wee bit more. And it doesn't hurt to still have some solid flax seeds in there, because a lot of people use solid flax seed in some of the crackers or biscuits that they make. So there is my cup of ground flax seed, and it actually ends up being a little more than a cup because you ground them freshly. Now another thing I normally do, which I'm not going to do in this video, is I take my fresh almonds and I grind them up also. But I'm not going to this time because I just happen to have some in the fridge that was already ground up. And normally I don't buy them this way, but I did it for some other recipe and I had some left over. So I have a half a cup of ground almonds, and there actually is more carbs in this blanched almond ground than there is in the ones that you grind yourself. So hopefully that you'll grind them up yourself and you just have better carb count that way. So now I have a tablespoon of onion salt, a tablespoon of garlic salt, a tablespoon of chives, dried chives, and a tablespoon of onion flakes, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and I put in 2 teaspoons of stevia. Now you can use anything you want in your flax seeds. Like your base is your almonds and your flax seeds and whatever else you put in there. You can add anything. You could add in rosemary. Actually, I do like rosemary and I forgot to put that in, so I think I'll take a second and get some and put it in. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of rosemary also in there. It just gives it that little extra, and I quite enjoy it in the cracker, in the chip. So just mix this up, and then we're going to add a half a cup of water. So we'll just keep mixing. And what we're going to do is, once we have it all mixed, we're going to let it just sit and let the water absorb into all of the flax seed and the almond. So let it sit for about 5 minutes, because I just find when it sits there a little bit longer, it's easier to work with after. So what I've done is I've taken my cookie sheet and I have parchment paper. Parchment paper is my best friend when I'm baking and cooking. Even cooking bacon, I put it on the parchment paper. It's just so much easier to clean everything with parchment paper. So I've cut the parchment paper to fit, and then I cut another one, and we're not going to use the cookie sheet just yet. So this is my base that we're going to put the flaxseed chips on. So I'm going to just, as usual, I like using my hands, so I'm going to put half of the ingredient on the one sheet of parchment paper. And then I'm going to take another sheet of parchment paper and I'm going to put it on top. And we're going to roll it out. Now in my other video I had made them into little round chips and I still love them, but it's just so much more work. So I decided just to make it easier for you guys to make them and me to make them. It's a lot quicker if I just start rolling it out. And you want it really super thin, because the thinner they are, the nicer the chips are. So just keep taking your time. And I use my stomach and I hold the parchment paper down so it doesn't get away on me. And I just keep rolling it out, and I want to have it as thin as possible. So we just keep on rolling. And you've got the parchment paper on top, so you're not going to get it on your clothes by having it lean up against you. And underneath you can see we have the edge as to where it fits on the cookie sheet. So you can just keep rolling it around until you get the thinness that you want. So I'll keep working on this. So if you find it's a little thicker in any areas, you just take it and you press down and move it up towards the other end. Now, just by feeling it, you're going to know whether or not it's too thick, because it'll feel mushy if it's too thick, and I think I've got it pretty good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to peel off the top layer. There we go. And we can reuse this parchment paper, so don't throw it away. Make sure you keep it so you can use it again. So now we have it all rolled out. I'm just going to use my pizza cutter and I'm going to make squares. And like I said in my other video, I did take the time and made little round balls and made them all into little chips, because chips have been my downfall through my lifetime. But it's just so much quicker doing it this way. So we're just going to mark the squares. Oh, that one's a little crooked, but that's okay. You just keep making them the size that you want. I'll make those ones a little bit smaller. Here we go. And we're going to add them, put them on to the cookie sheet. So I'm going to have my oven preheated at 400, and they're going to be put in the middle rack at 400 for 8 minutes. And I'll continue rolling out the rest of my flaxseed crackers. So I just took out the first batch out of the oven, so we'll just put that on the top. I put the other batch, second batch, in the oven cooking. And I did this for about 9 minutes, and you're going to see that there's a little darker on the sides, and you have to be careful. You don't want it too dark, because then it tastes burnt. So I'm just going to flip these over, peel off the parchment paper, and you'll see that because I used the pizza cutter, it scored all of the mixture, so now I have little squares. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to break them all up and let them cool down. Now the interesting part of this, the edges are crispy, but the center is not. So what we do is we take, and once the oven is, we're done cooking all of the flax seeds, I break them all up like this. Then I put them back on the cookie tray, and we put them in the oven for 20 minutes, in a warm oven for about 20 minutes, even longer. It doesn't hurt. We're in no hurry for them. And it dries them out completely, and you end up having crispy chips or crackers, whatever you want to call them. So, and you're looking at quite a few chips out of one batch, and I usually make more than one batch because we go through them quite a bit around here. So I'm just going to lay these out and let them cool off. The other batch is cooking, and then we'll be back with the end results. Now I've let my oven cool down a little bit. I've got all my flaxseed chips on the cookie tray, and we're going to put them back in the oven, in a warm oven, and we're just going to let them sit and dry out. So here's my final product, my flaxseed almond chips. And I have a recipe on my blog for my garlic dip or garlic dressing. It's excellent with Caesar, and it's really excellent with different crackers or carrots or veggies, whatever. So I hope that you try this. It tastes a lot better. It's improved compared to the last flaxseed chips that I made. So I hope you give it a try. They're great appetizers. Instead of getting into that junk food, those potato chips or whatever, when you add the garlic dip to these, they're very good. They're still a little different when you're eating them by themselves, but they are improved, and I'll keep working on and see if I can make it even better. So hopefully you'll go to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com, check out this recipe, the updated recipe on my flaxseed chips, and try the garlic dip with it. It's so good, and it's really good with Caesar salad. Once you try this dressing, the dip, then you're not even going to look at buying home or stuff that's already made in the grocery store. So you take care. So good. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye now.